Ladies and gentlemen, it's a good day. The Technologist Forum is back. And as I said in an earlier video, I'm both anxious, I'm both nervous, I'm all the things. Why? Because this segment, this session, this infocast is bringing together subject matter experts to talk about doing the thing. That thing being creatives talking about creativity, creatives who are actually working in the industry, who are monetizing their services, their products, their availability, their time, their expertise. We're going to rise above the noise with a lot of these conversations. We're going to talk about real world use cases. We're going to have conversations about all kinds of things that really matter to you. And first and foremost, I got one of my co-hosts in the back that's got the audio on, so you want to turn that audio off, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get it in. This is the Technologist Forum. Okay, who is that has the audio going in the background? Huh? Okay. No,
Is
see,
it
no
coming
one
from my
wants to
mic?
speak up to it. I bring them all on
Nope.
camera now, and for the real audience, no one wants to admit to it.
Oh, hold on, because I
Nope.
was sharing.
Oh my God!
The
See, Johnny,
channel.
there you go.
Was that me?
Don't yes, it was. Don't come around here. Don't come around here acting up, brother.
It's supposed to
See?
automatically mute me.
My Lord, that's all right, brother. You get three. That's one. You get
That's
three.
one strike. One strike.
So it's all
I
good.
know. I was gonna say I
Listen,
have all my tabs muted. I was like, what?
yeah, it's all right. He gonna learn today. He gonna learn today.
I think he just learned.
He gonna
That's
learn.
right.
Yeah. Listen, this is it right here. This is week one, back of the Technologist Forum. These co-hosts right here. This is all of us working together, doing something very important. I think, looking to bring value to not just our communities, but to individuals as well, looking to maybe build their own communities, right? Solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, digital creators, and things of that nature. I would be remiss if I didn't have this week's hosts introduce themselves. We all know each other. Many of us that are chiming in as well know each other, but let's go ladies first. Let's go with Miss Tanya Smith, please, and have you tell the folks who in the world is Tanya Smith.
Who I am. I am Tanya Smith, and I am just really thrilled and honored to be here. I know a lot of people wanted to be in this space with James Hicks and crew. So let me put that out there. So I feel very fortunate. I am the owner of Get Noticed with Video LLC, and I also run a weekly live stream show and a training hub called Stream Like a Boss TV. So most weeks, we give ourselves some grace, but most weeks we're on live teaching about content strategies. And our primary focus is to help coaches and creators to leverage live stream marketing to convert crickets into cash. So we always talk about content strategies and content marketing, but not just for the sake of throwing out content, for the purpose of actually creating candid conversations and conversions from people being lurkers in your audience into becoming leads and clients. So I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
My goodness, I'm telling you, every time I hear that crickets to cash, I just see like dollar signs because again, that needs to be on some shirt, some hat,
I
something,
told you
somebody's
I'm working
billboard.
on it.
Okay. Again, listen, we folks of action around here. We folks of action.
Yes.
Okay, Johnny, let's go with you since you can't get off mute.
No, I've been off mute.
Let's get you, man. Tell the folks who you are, what it is that you do as well.
Well, I'm Johnny E. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I run a platform called Ouvri Barrière, which is a Creole Haitian platform. The name Ouvri Barrière basically means opens the gates. What we do, we focus on technology, we focus on politics, education, healthcare, whatever an immigrant who's living here from Haiti needs, we provide education on that aspect for them. So sometimes we focus also on music, help especially those young artists who's brand new in the state and still trying to keep a career. It could be difficult to do that when you're not home. So we do all of those things and help them develop the skills. At the same time, we provide a lot of support to our community. We educate them on different aspects and life right here in the United States. And of course, we use technology to bring all this wonderful education to them in one platform, which is Ouvri Barrière. thank you for having me, and let's get it started.
Listen, man, that's dope. See, we global, y'all. Yeah, if y'all don't know, this is international right here. So appreciate you for sharing that information right there. And I want to say what's up. I see folks chiming in the comments as well. I see some future weeks co-hosts. Did I say that right? Yeah, chiming in as well. Mr. Greg Russell, just talked to him this month, just early this morning. So he's gonna be on with us as well. So shouts out to him. And I see Erica there as well, talking about hello. Good to see you. Appreciate you there. And look, seniors in the building. So it's an official show. So when my dad logs in, that means we actually live. Chris Stone is there too. Listen, so Chris, I was giving Jim before I even let Jim introduce himself, I was giving him a hard time. Did you give out the special Dealcasters promo code that's only available for this hour and a half or so for merchandise and for, deals on consultancy meetings? I don't know. I didn't hear it. Maybe I logged on too late or whatever. But anyways, Jim Fuse. Catch that curveball, brother. Catch that curveball.
Yeah, we did.
Who
I
is Jim
told you
Fuse?
that. You go check out the replay. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm Jim Fuse. I'm the president of Fusion Marketing. I'm a retired Marine lieutenant colonel, and I do marketing the Marine Corps way. And so a lot of it is about adapt to overcome. And I think, especially, I think it's appropriate with this forum that we're doing here, that we are all like cutting edge, taking chances that other people aren't doing. I co-host Dealcasters with my good friend Chris Stone, and we're on Amazon. We're now on Substack. I've become a big fan of Substack, a Substack advocate, partially because of people like James and Tanya kind of leading the way. Because we don't take chances, don't take risk, nothing happens. And so I'm excited to be a part of this group. Consider it an honor to be present with the three of you here today.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Radiance by Raytelia Santana. Thank you for sharing this platform with us. Listen, appreciate everyone for joining in. Let's go and get into it, man. Let's get locked in. So today, wanted to kind of have a conversation and have a discussion. And that's what these are going to be, folks. These are not going to be just going over the news or just having a one-on-one conversation. These are going to be discussions with some action items, with some real maybe interventions as well, because we were talking offline and Johnny may get an intervention here in about 10
Yeah, I need
minutes.
one.
So leveraging AI as a digital creative and the proliferation, and I don't very rarely use that word, and it's me talking, it's not AI generated. I did say that. The proliferation of AI, especially in what it is that we do, creating content, creating copy, creating video, doing all of the stuff that we do around a infocast, around a show, around a stream. It's blowing up. And in my mind, I actually think it's going too fast. I don't know what too fast looks like. I don't know what too slow. I don't know what just right looks like, but there's just so much hitting us as creatives that are, for the ones that are just starting out, to where should they start to? Where should they go? Yeah, we've got an encoder that we can use to get ourselves online. Yeah, we've got tools that can help us with the individual infrastructure, lights, camera, action, all that stuff. But man, this AI thing that is really trying to, in my mind, take the creative out of creator by having it all auto-generated by an algorithm. You guys want to chime in on that in any kind of way?
Well, I
Go ahead.
go ahead, Tanya. Ladies first.
Oh,
Yes.
well,
We're
look,
going to keep
here, I'll
using
just,
that as long as we can.
I know, wow. But it's okay. It's all good. I got you. I think I am a little frustrated. So I do agree with you, James. I agree, because what I'm seeing is a lot of people who are slapping a label on saying, I'm an expert now, simply because they did a search on AI and got a lot of information, but they can't internalize it and they can't produce the results and deliver on the promises that they're making. I think that we have an opportunity right now as entrepreneurs to lead the way and to model what it means to be an entrepreneur, what it means to be a creator, meaning that we have to start first with the basics. We need to understand our brand. And when I talk about brand, I'm talking about it in 4 parts. I'm talking about what is our mastery? So what are we good at? What is it that we want to be known for? Where are we planting our flag and saying, this is my expertise that you can tap into? So the mastery, who is our market? So who are we speaking to? Who's that target audience that ideally we want to make an impact with? And I'm seeing this one, the target audience thing is baffling to a lot of people, which ends up messing them up with the messaging and all the other things, right? If you can't get those two things right first, you're going to have a hard time with the message. What's the key point that people should walk away from any content that you're sharing out there in the world? They should walk away knowing, okay, that's what this person is about. This is where they have planted their flag and how they can help me. And then the method. What's the method by which I'm actually helping people to achieve a solution? If you don't have those four things right, the rest of it is going to fall apart. It's like quicksand. So I really feel like we have to go back to the basics. And then when we understand those things, AI becomes a tool to enhance.
It's almost like AI is making it too easy to throw spaghetti against the wall. But it's not going to stick if you don't have kind of those foundational pieces, kind of like you were just saying. We can all
Yeah.
get out there, turn the lights on. We can all press record on a camera or on a phone or whatever and put something out there. All content isn't great content. Kind of like you guys were just talking about on Dealcasters a few minutes ago, right? But if you don't have kind of those foundational pieces, like Tanya was just saying, if you don't know who you are, I'm just not trying to paraphrase. I'm not that smart. But if you don't know
Yes,
what
you
it
are.
is that you're trying to do, who you're trying to serve, and why, no chat GPT or perplexity or Gemini or whomever you want to call is really going to help you in the long term. May help you for a minute. What do you guys think about that?
Well, for me, I see it a little bit different. Yes, I see it's moving fast, but for the community I cater to, I have a lot of people who haven't even started yet.
Mm.
But at the same time, because of well, I will say because of some restraint that we have and the stuff we have to share with my community, so I have to go back the old school way. And sometimes AI is not good enough to do what I want it to do. So I have to actually use my brain again and get it there. And I'm saying, okay, I need AI to get there. For example, not too long ago, like I think last year, I was one of the people who was complaining why, for example, ChatGPT, Creole, for example, wasn't. It was terrible. It was terrible. And all the platform that I use, I won't name them.
Man, name the name, brother. Go ahead and throw them out there. Just come on.
I'm gonna
Shoot.
give you an example. I used to use Descript, right? And one of my complaints, Descript is a great platform, and I love what we do in there. It cuts the stuff so quick. It helped me. But because I'm creating content in Creole, they did not have Creole as a language because
Wow. Okay.
they only had the major languages.
Mm.
Creole wasn't an option. So for me to create a video in Creole and put it in Descript, it doesn't do anything for me because the stuff I needed to be to happen is not happening. So I did write to them. They told me, hey, to put it on the request. I put in the request several times, and at the end, I just give up because and the updates never happened. But at the end of this, no, at the beginning of this year, ChatGPT make a big improvement with Creole. So I can actually have a full conversation in Creole with ChatGPT, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. Okay, to the point now they understand not only the dialect but some of the slangs as well.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm like, okay, so that helped me out. So it is moving fast, but is it moving fast on the right direction or is it including everybody? Because I can
Mm.
tell you from my community, we have a lot of people still way behind when we're talking about, AI.
That's a two-edged sword there. It. I appreciate your statement there, and
Mhm.
then Jim, let's chime in. But I wonder, is the onus then on folks within your community? How do they get involved?
Well, this
Let's
is
talk about it and we'll be about it, kind of thing. You
yes,
know what I'm
like
saying? Instead of
this is what I do. That's the reason why my
okay.
channel exists. Because okay, I'm not we can't wait. We can ask for other people to help us out. So
See, I
those
threw you
of
that
us who's
softball
in
there too, brother.
yeah,
I knew what you was talking about. I just threw that
yeah. So
out there.
those of us who's in that space,
Yeah.
we just have to come together and say, hey, we have to create for our community because they're getting left behind. So that's why sometimes we talk about how to use ChatGPT, how to use different technologies. Like the other day, I wanted my platform to join me on Discord, and a lot of them don't know what in the world is Discord. So now I'm
Mm.
creating a video to show them, okay, how you log into Discord, how you sign up with Discord, how you use Discord. And there's plenty platform like this. But I think that's what a lot of us is doing. We're just like, we're not gonna wait. We're just gonna create the content for our community. And even though it's not a popular content, so it's anything educational, sometimes you guys know it's not as popular as it is. But a lot of business owners now started to like, oh, okay, I need to tap into this channel.
No, that's dope. And that it may not be popular, you think, but you got a
Mhm.
community and you've
Oh
got
yeah.
folks that want
Yeah.
to have that information. That'll just mushroom out. So shouts out to you for doing that. Jim, what are your thoughts, man, on this?
Well, I think I would agree with you as far as the speed. I think, I use a product called Magi by Dustin Stout,
Mm.
which is really an aggregator. He's got, ChatGPT, he's got Claude, he's got a bunch of the large language models, he's got the video models, and he even talked about how some of these AI tools are already like crashing, right? Like, hey, we're going out of business because something else has overcome them. But I also think
Yeah.
as much as we want to resist using AI sometimes, we need to use it as a tool. But one of the fears I have, I've been reading this book and I listen to it all the time. It's called Snow Leopards. It's by the Category Pirates guy, Nicholas Cole, and others. Is that are we going to have people stop, using critical thought because we're
Yeah.
just going to rely on AI to give us our answers, and how is that going to affect the youth because they're the ones that if they just think, "Oh, I just ask AI and it tells me," and they're gonna believe it, right? Or are they gonna question it? So we have to keep that curiosity going. So that's where I think how do we balance that? I think that's a huge challenge. I think it's great from a learning aspect. I think it's great from helping us get things done faster. I mean, I think I don't know if you guys have used Gamma as an example for creating
Hmm.
presentations.
Hmm.
I mean, it's pretty darn slick, but I'm
Yep.
sure Microsoft and others will, build that in as well. But if we lose the ability to critically think and basically leave it up to, the computers and technology to do all our answers for us, I mean, what are we really doing? And so that's where I think the speed. And then let's talk about ageism in a sense, right? Because I don't know if I'm the oldest person in the room, but um, I would tell you a lot of my peers, I know my mother, she's in her 80s, they don't they don't even wanna touch AI, let alone
Yep.
learn about it. But it's impacting them, and they don't even realize it. So how do we make it, because I think sometimes, right, we're all surrounded by people that do a lot of the same things, so we think, "Oh, everybody's doing it." It's really not. It's kinda like when we talk about video. There's probably still 80% of people are not using video for creating content, and that's probably
Yeah.
being kind.
Yeah. Um, man, are we being, this is kind of picking up, going into next week's now then. I mean, are we becoming complacent with this? Right, because again, there's so much, and we mentioned a handful of tools already. Couple of them real good. The Magi's, the Descripts, and things like that. Are we
Hmm.
becoming complacent now that there's so much
Right,
coming at us every single week? Right, we can
right.
log on to any blog post, we can log on to any newsletter, we can log on to AppSumo, we can see all these, the product hunts of the world, and see somebody's written a new bit of code, a new service, a new offering to help specifically creatives do what it is that we do. How do we gauge who to send that money to? How
Well,
do we gauge who to spend that
yeah.
time learning how to use Magi, how to use Runway, how to use what's the one that Nikki Saunders is doing right now? She just talked about it the other. But right, all of these tools that are out there. How do we manage that time?
Well, I'd like Tanya to go back to something that she talked about all these people claiming to be, experts, right? And
Mm,
and even what the definition of that is. But as an example, because everything started with Chat GPT, if you want to say, in the mainstream, there's all these other tools, and it's like, well, you talk about Chat GPT all the time, but have you tried Claude? Have you tried
yeah.
Copilot? And what are the differences? And I think some of these people, because they're only using one tool, don't know, and we
Hmm.
don't know because they're not training us. I mean, I think that's one of the challenges as well.
I think
Okay.
the winners in this whole game are going to be the people who are continuous learners. And just like you said, Jim, they're going to be the ones that are going and finding out. We're going to be the ones who are attending technologists forum. We're going to be the ones who are still reading because people don't read much
Ooh,
anymore,
good
Come
right?
point.
on.
We're reading books.
There you go.
We're
Come
going to
on.
be the ones who are taking the time to understand and learn different platforms and then helping to simplify what we're learning and sharing it with the masses. So, just like you were saying with the Creole situation, the language issue, there is a need and we need to be able to fill that need. But there are going to be certain people that stand out in that regard. I think it goes back to what you were saying, James. The long term is going to, everything's going to come out in the wash. Isn't that what the term was? Right? It's going to come out in the wash. At some point, we're going to start differentiating between
Yeah.
people who were surface level learners who just learned enough to get by and make a few dollars and write a few books and say, see, I'm an AI person,
Yeah.
but they couldn't deliver. People are going to, much like the coaching industry, they're going to start sifting the wheat. They're going
Mhm.
to figure out, wait a minute, there are certain people who constantly are on top of their game and sharing new things and helping to break it down so I can understand how this applies to my life. And then there are other people who are not keeping up. I think there's going to be some differentiation over time. Right now, it's just everybody is like, it's like a barrel of crabs. It's like everybody's trying to
Yes.
say, I'm the one, I'm the one. But it's going to come to, and here's the last thing I'll say, because I don't want to talk too long. Um,
What?
the last thing I'll
We
say
got
about
unlimited tape.
this,
Listen, we got unlimited tape.
you are a mess. Um, the last thing I'll say is that it's also about us finding our communities, right? I think we have to be careful that we're creating and that we're attracting communities to us that feel comfortable with us. Jim can talk about
Hmm.
Substack in his way and draw a certain audience. I have people come to me because they want to hear from me. They've heard from me about other things and they're like, hey, I heard these other 5 people, but I want to hear from you. So we have to understand that we have a responsibility and a duty to stand up as leaders in our spaces and to nurture communities of people that feel comfortable and confident about us. All of us on this panel and your future guest, I
Yeah.
think we're positioning in that way. And I think everybody who is going to position themselves as a leader needs to understand it's a big responsibility and they have to keep doing due diligence to learn all the time and not assume that they've made it at some point. There will be none of that moving forward.
There will be none of that, and the revolution will be live streamed. All right, so I'm gonna cut away. I got to run a show. I got the questions. I got a question just because off of what we just talked about just now. And listen, I see everybody just jumping in. Appreciate everyone. I see the comments is blowing up from all the various channels because we are on no less than 10 networks right now. We trying to break the internet.
Yep.
So that's what's dope. Do we have the patience for those folks who just try to mail it in? Because
What?
so I won't give his name, but one of our co-hosts that's coming later on in the month, right? And yeah, we all know him. That boy does not have the pay. He's out here trying to train and teach and reach a billion people. Y'all know who I'm talking about, but he doesn't have the patience for folks, and I know I don't either, for folks who say, I can't do it. I can't get out of my own way. I don't understand. Why? Because like Tanya said, you haven't read. You haven't read the manual. You haven't taken the time to understand the process. What we do here, it looked nice, it looked dope, it looked easy, but man, there's a lot of moving parts right now, and I'm sweating underneath the covers because, right, again, there's so much that's happening, and if something does jump off and fail or break or whatever the case may be, I've got contingencies. But I've gotten to the point, and I'll just throw myself out there, I've gotten no patience or less patience for folks who aren't willing to learn, who aren't willing to put in the work, who are just wanting to use Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever. Give me an answer to this and let me push it out there and not even validate it. how are you guys feeling about the folks who are trying to come up on the come up? Just want to blow up overnight, want to be the beast and want to be the MKBHD or whomever, right? Name whomever you want that's large in the digital creation scene, that kind of thing. It's a
I can tell
loaded
you,
question, I know, but
yeah, I can tell from my perspective.
I blame
For
Tanya
me,
for that
You
outburst.
need to not
yeah,
blame me.
for me, it's a little bit different than you guys because I have to have patience. Not only that, I have to learn the material myself and understand it, but I am teaching it in a different language. Okay, and
Wow.
I'm
Yes.
Talk
bringing
about
with
that.
me, a group of people who never ever use that technology. So I have to be extremely patient. At the same time, I understand we can't go back. Matter of fact, if we think it's fast right now, wait next year.
Yep.
Wait next year. You're gonna you oh my goodness. If you go to those different forums and you're reading online and you're reading books and you're looking to see what they are planning to do, I mean, we have a responsibility, and that responsibility is personal. You have to say for yourself, I'm willing to learn this and spend time with it. Because at the end of the day, just like Tanya just said, right? It's going to come a time we're going to discover who knows what they're talking about, who doesn't know what they're talking about. And when that time comes, you can hide. You cannot hide. So I think
Yeah.
it is an advantage. Anybody who's in that space, anybody who's creating content, any creator, don't just use the platform. Don't just say, oh, give me this, and just grab it and go post it.
Mm.
Use it, use it to plan, use it to research what you're about to talk about and to understand, or maybe use it as confirmation and double check yourself. Because when you think you're posting something that this is just for my community, that's it. No, there's other people who's gonna see it. And sometimes those people, probably people who's looking to partner with you, people who's looking to work with you, and now they realize, I don't know,
Yeah.
So we have to be careful with it. But I don't think we're going back, and it is an individual responsibility to do whatever they can to change this, because the game's changed and it's changed forever.
Hmm.
That point that
Yeah.
you made right there, I think, is what separates us from, and I will be a little separatist, right? I think what separates us from probably the majority is because we're not playing, right? We out here. This is business. We out. This is business,
Mhm.
right? We out here looking for revenue. We actually have our LLCs. We are out here really trying to bring value to our communities and to our networks and rise above the noise. So if we just wanted to
Absolutely.
push out some madness all the time and just get hero metrics or whatever the case may be and do whatever that is, that's one thing. But that's not sustainable. Tanya's got folks that live and breathe and buy based on her recommendations and based on
Mhm.
her testing and all of that.
I know that feeling.
Right?
And
Hmm.
you know what make my day is when somebody sees something and they told you, I waited for you. I waited
Yeah.
for you to confirm it for me. So they say, if you said it, then I believe it. And like
Yes.
that, the last few times, my time in doing some immigration work with all of the stuffs going on right now, providing the information, I have a core of people that they will hear the information from anywhere else, but they're
Hmm.
waiting for me, okay, to confirm it. So because of that, I can't be complacent. I have to make sure I have my information. I cannot just say, well, based on this channel or based on this news
Hmm.
station. No, it's more to that. You have to go dig in and find out what that information is and then break it down to them. So I agree with you. It's gonna come a time. Listen, this is not a game.
Hmm.
This is not a game.
We in front of it too. We in front of
Mhm.
it by having these kind of conversations. Jim, were you going to go say something before I move on to the
Yeah,
next topic?
I mean, I think kind of going back to your point, James, is like you're right. We don't have time for these people that aren't willing to get serious, right? If it's kind of like when you interview someone as a potential client. It's like, hey, you want to do video? Well, it's like, look, I'm going to just say no. Then go find somebody else. The brain pickers that are out there always wanting to pick your brain. They can go pick ChatGPT's brain now, for all I care. Because we have to be continuously learning. I love one of the comments that I think I saw in the chat about how the people that are going to make the difference, it's like not only are you using the AI tools, but you're also still thinking, you're still learning, because learning is continuous, right? I
Hmm.
think that's the one thing I think we all do is we're constantly learning what can we do
Yeah.
better, what can we learn different, and failure is actually a form of learning, right?
Hmm.
Just because you mess something up doesn't mean like, oh, well, I can't do it. It means, it's like, did you walk the first time you tried to walk as a kid? Did you stay up
Hmm.
on your bike the first time you tried to ride it? I mean, those are the sort of things with AI, right? It's going to be the same thing. Like, okay, let's test this. Does it help? Does it work? But let's not forget where we came from. I think, we got to remember about humanity. I think
Hmm.
community, I think, is becoming more important. And so if you're going to
Yeah,
use AI with community, you've really got to be careful to not let AI, in a sense, take over you being you and building community.
I love that. I love that. That's a good point there, folks. If you got questions for us, the drill. Put a Q in front of it. We'll put it on there. I'm trying to get all of the comments on the screen, but if I don't feel bad. Listen, y'all pray for me up in these streets. All right,
Please
we gonna
help
get
him.
to it, y'all.
Send him some good thoughts. Send him
You know what I'm
positive
saying? Y'all,
thoughts
y'all
right
pray for
now.
me up in here.
Dr.
Tanya
Dr.
offering
Hicks,
great
hard at work.
recommendation. Yeah, I'm hard at work. This is only coffee. I don't have nothing else in here just now. So y'all
Not
pray.
yet.
Yeah,
All
you'll
right.
be
What was
okay.
what was
You'll
that
be
saying we
okay.
had earlier? It was the 8 hours bottle to throttle.
Oh my.
Listen, I don't know. See, I'm getting on the plane tomorrow too. I'm not sure if I want to. Hold on. She may be watching right now. I'm not sure if I want her in the front seat. I'm gonna be
Oh
on a
my
very long
goodness.
flight tomorrow. I'm not
My
sure. She
goodness.
was
My
talking about
goodness.
taking tequila, drinking tequila while flying. I'm like, hold on now.
Mm, 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 mm.
Anyway,
We're gonna pray for you tomorrow too. Then,
please, Lord have mercy.
can,
I'm leaving the
can
house
I
at
say a
5 in the
little
morning.
something?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So definitely prayers for you starting tonight. Can I
Hmm.
say something about patience?
Mhm.
Because you asked that question, I was really sitting here kind of processing through that. I think each of us, and this goes back to one of the points that I made earlier. Each of us, we have that responsibility and that duty to do our thing and to
Mm.
draw the community that is meant for us. And all of us are going to be different in the way that we approach training, teaching, coaching, etc. However, we're offering our gifts. And I do have a patient spirit. So there are a lot of people who do come into my community who may be a little bit challenged initially, but they're willing. So I am patient, but I'm not tolerant. For me, there's a difference. There's
Yeah,
a
let's break that
distinction.
down.
Mhm.
Oof.
I'm patient because I understand that there are going to be people that are going to take a little bit longer to learn and they're going to ask a few more questions and they're going to need a little extra help. And I've been there too. I've been the person in the remedial seat. I have.
Hmm.
But on the other hand, I'm not tolerant of people who just come out with well, I'm not willing to follow the process. Instead of, going and booking a call on your site, I'm just going to send you my phone number and tell you to call me. All
That
right.
ain't gonna work.
Or instead of it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
So I'm not tolerant of people that have no capacity to want to learn. And like Jim said, it's one of my pet peeves too about the whole video thing. I used to be that person that would go after people and try to educate them and encourage them and say, this is why you should be on camera. But at this point in my career, I'm saying, if you are ready and you want to be on camera, that's when you come to me,
Wow.
right? If you know that this is a thing and you just don't know how, that's when you come to me. So I'm patient, but I'm no longer tolerant of people who choose to remain ignorant or to
Yeah.
remain uneducated about the things that really could help them.
It's an
Yeah.
interesting conscious decision that you made because you know that hits you in the wallet, right? By
Yes.
by probably closing that window of candidates who are that you're willing. Listen, folks, I've been through Tanya's onboarding process. It's no joke. What I do is nothing compared. You got to get vetted. You got to have the last four of your social. You got to know. You
Whatever.
got to know your mama maiden name. You got to know all kind of
Uh-uh.
things, and it's got to be signed, sealed, and notarized to get through Tanya's onboarding process. But that I applaud you for that. But again, that's a conscious decision that you made, that
Yes.
I know who I can work best with, as opposed to going out there and trying to
Right.
tackle the ocean. Instead of trying to, and props to our dude, Doc Rock, who is the guy I was talking about, going out there trying to serve 1 billion people and help them get online, and very hard driven on that. But you're saying I don't want 1 billion people. I want these 500 folks who ready to get it in. I want these
Yep.
500 people who say let's go do this thing because I'm ready to put in that work. Is that kind of
Yes.
it?
That's it.
Mm.
That's
But
it. I'm patient, but I'm not tolerant. I'm also not tolerant when it comes to community, y'all. I think this is important.
Ha ha
When
ha.
we're creating communities, we need to be clear on who we are and what we stand for, because it's up to
Mhm.
us, going back to that responsibility, which is a big thing for me, y'all. I'm real passionate about that.
Yeah.
We need to understand that we're responsible for creating a protected space. So if certain people cross the line in your community that you have drawn, then they don't need to be a part of it anymore. So set your flag in place and say what you believe and what you value and be clear on that. I'm clear on that in all of my branded materials. Everywhere I go, people know what I stand for and what I'm about, because again, it's about attracting the community that's truly meant for you. Somebody else may be meant for them, not you, but you got to get clear on that and set your boundaries.
And that's okay. And that's
you,
okay.
I wasn't aware that your community is a monetized community.
Yeah, bro.
I
We
did.
we we
Yeah,
out
I
here
did. No,
collecting
no, that's why I
checks.
need the intervention, because
Yeah.
listen,
Oh, that's right.
listen, hold on.
He
Yeah, bro. We can.
does.
Because I thought because my community is basically,
I'm
you can
sorry.
call it straight the pro bono nonprofit. I thought I was having issues because there was no incentive, right? Because when you give those information and you're trying to teach, and there's no incentive because it's completely, I mean, when I say zero, completely zero.
Hmm.
So if a couple months ago we start structuring the community, right, and we start putting an aspect where you have to, where we monetize that aspect, and what I realized, those who have that incentive, like they are maybe a subscriptions, maybe via appointments, they're very focused, and they
Yes.
really to learn. Yeah, it required patience, but they're making the effort. But those who's not in the monetized aspect of it, it's almost like, oh yeah, no problem, and they don't pay attention as much. So that's where my frustration was coming. I was like, okay, maybe it's because there is no incentive, that's what put the people in that
Hold
category.
on.
But I didn't know even in the monetized
Yeah.
Mm.
world you have that
Mm.
as well.
First and
Mm.
foremost, what you said is all accurate. And Sean Michael in here is
Put that up
using
there,
my
please.
statement.
Yeah.
He must have got that statement from the same person I got it from. Sean,
People
did
pay
you hear me
attention
say
at the
that, or where did you get that from? Because that's it right there. People pay attention to what they pay for, and
Yep.
a lot of times we will try to get folks to come in and join our. I'm not even gonna say our network. I'm gonna say maybe our community.
the
I
community.
mean, I'm not our community, but say our network,
Hmm.
our group,
Mhm.
our Discord, kind of like you were
Hmm.
saying,
Yeah.
and we'll lowball it. Come on in for $5.99 a month.
Mhm.
Come on, come.
Mhm.
I'll give it to you for free for 6 months.
Hmm.
Where's the value in that? I'm pointing one finger out at you, three back at me as well for doing that
Yeah.
initially as well. But really, people pay attention to what they pay for, and if there is a monetary attachment to it, if they have to give something to get something, if they know that you, Johnny, have 10% more knowledge than they have, and you can be specific into what their needs is at that particular time, man, come on. Invoices, PayPal's, what the kids use? The kids use Venmo, or I don't. Well, my kids use Venmo. Whatever it is, right? There will be some incentive from that perspective, and that's not always the driving factor. Right? We're not
Yeah.
don't do every single thing for
No, no.
financial gain, but
Mhm.
man, when you have that expertise and you're giving that expertise and you're giving that value, somebody gonna recognize you for that. So, man, okay, let me be quiet. Let me just focus on these comments here. Jim, what's going on, man? You just
Well, I think going back to what Johnny just said, I've been working with a friend, Vincent Puglisi, and he's got this membership freedom group, and he's building something, and I like it. It's called the stadium model. And so if you want to sit up in the fourth deck of Truist Park, which today I don't know that I wanted to be near Truist Park after what happened in the ninth inning. Those are the cheap seats, and you're going to get what you get for being in the cheap seats. But the closer you want to get to being in the Delta Club, you're going to pay more, but you're also going to get more value, right? You're going to get
Mhm.
that one-on-one time with, Tanya or James or Johnny. But if you're not willing to pay for it, you're just not going to get, because that fourth deck stuff is, you can find it anywhere. So, but by putting our spin on it, by using our voice, right, it builds that trust, that credibility that's so important. And that's where I think when
Mhm.
we talk about AI helps us, like, okay, what are the 10 things you should think about when you live stream? Well, I can remember 8 of them, but because I'm old, I forgot 2. Well, thanks, Gemini, for reminding me about the other 2, but it's
Yeah.
still going to be in voice. So we can give those sort of things away, because it's not like we're not doing rocket science. Now, maybe
Yeah.
Dr. Hicks, I'm not,
Well, no,
but
I just pretend to be one on the internet. I just pretend to be an expert on internet. And Sean, yes, Gina, that is from Gina. And I have told her explicitly and point blank that I use her statement all the time so that people pay attention to
yeah.
what they pay for. I love it. Chris is saying the loudest voices come from the cheapest seats. Oh, my God.
Mm.
Mm, mm, mm.
Mm.
Tell me
Well,
about that.
let me
Mhm.
just let that marinate for a minute and just let that breathe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it. You will not believe. You will not believe. I mean, again, I'm the one who need the intervention. I can tell you, you will not believe. I mean, you're like, wow, are you serious right now? But yeah,
Well,
I do
let's
understand.
talk about that because if that's where this discussion needs to go, because yeah, I wanted to go into maybe some of the practical use cases. So we talked about AI, and are we getting too lazy and too complacent, and what's that mind shift? And then next was going to go into how we're leveraging it. So again, from the
Mhm.
ideation, the visual design, editing, and things like that. But it sounds like, Johnny, this may be more of a pressing related conversation. I would much rather go where the conversation is going than worrying about going on a script. So
No, it's just a quick detour because, again, for what I do,
yeah.
for what I provide, sometimes the question that I get, like, it's not even a question. It's like uh, the unwillingness to get the information and to understand the information,
Mhm.
instead to just like, well, it's not accurate. It's not right. I'm gonna go do something else, which is fine. Of course, you have the right to do that, but to come back when when you wherever you go and come back and find a situation. Oh, what you are saying is right. So now I need you, to do X, Y, and Z, and then you
Hmm.
pushing it. Like, I need your time. I'm calling
Mhm.
you. I'm texting you. I am
Mm.
DMing you. I'm sending you a ton of messages, and then you realize, like,
Mhm.
wait a minute now, we did talk about that because the way I program my stuff, I just take great care to get the information from the sources. Compare,
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna give you an example. If I'm giving an information about um, the process of immigration or deportation that's going on right now, right? If you're looking at it in the news, you're getting different aspect of it, but you have
Mhm.
to dig deeper to understand that, okay, there is some stuff you can do nothing about it, so you need to focus on what you can change. So what are the legal aspect you are following to ensure you do not fall under category, not just what so and so say or whatever, but are you following the step? Oh my goodness, sorry guys.
Don't trip. We all got I don't
We
have a
all have
dog
dogs.
anymore.
Well,
I
we're
do.
live. That's the beauty of it.
I'm
That's what
so
it is.
sorry. That's my little guy. He's been quiet the whole time. So, um, so I take great care to go deeply and find those information and give it to you what is legal. And on top of that, I
Mm.
will involve expert. And some of those expert, sometimes I pay out of my pocket to get a lawyer to come sit down and talk to people about those different category, or have a panel where you have different lawyers or different people in that business. It costs, right? And for me to see sometimes, okay, I would say that they're not paying more attention towards it. So I discover, okay, maybe it's because there's no incentive. So the minute I put an incentive in front of that, then the game change.
Yeah.
Now it's full attention, and it's, even though my community, my group, like my monetized group is very small, but it's extremely active compared
Mm-hmm.
to the big picture. So yeah,
So
I think,
Johnny,
and to,
I was
yes.
just going to have Tanya
Hmm.
chime in on that because,
Go ahead.
yeah.
yeah, because given what you know, if you know these things, because it sounds like you know that the people who you're giving the access to you know that the people who are in the monetized community are the most active, but there are others who are encroaching upon your time. What will you be willing to do differently in the next 10 days,
Mm.
given what you know? Because you really kind of just shared what you know
Yeah.
to be true. And sometimes it's just a matter of saying, okay, enough. Can
This
I
is the
give you an
problem.
example?
Yeah,
Can I
give me
give
an
you an
example.
example? Okay,
Uh,
I'm gonna give you an example. So there was a point where I had an active Facebook group. And in that Facebook group, I was doing my live streams, much like I do now when I do my live streams every week on Thursdays. And I'm giving value in these streams. But I also know, because those streams are free information, that there are going to be people that will come and go. Not all of them are going to invest, but there will be some who will recognize the value and say, oh, if she gave me this in that 1 hour, what can she give me in an 8-week program? And they're going for it. But what was happening is there was a specific day that this young man in the Facebook group reached out in a DM, and he sent me a question, and I answered the question. Then he started sending me more questions.
mhm. And more. And
And
more.
so, and so I didn't even let it get to and more and more. This is where I stopped it. And this is what I'm saying. You have to make a decision at some point. After about question number 2.5, I sent him a response and I said, well, the questions you're asking, I'm curious as to why you're not asking them in the larger group where everyone can benefit from your question and how I answer. Oh, I just thought that you might be willing to give me blah, blah, blah. I would do that in a coaching call.
Come on now.
So if you would
Mhm.
like to book a strategy session, here's
Lord have
that
mercy.
link. But
Amen.
otherwise, take advantage of the free over in the space where I'm already giving a lot of my time for free and help others to benefit from what you're asking. But you got to, at some point, say, enough is enough, and here's the boundary so that people understand. And do you know, he didn't come back mad. He came back and he responded. He said, that was a masterclass. How you sent me that response was a masterclass. And now I understand, and I will use that in my own business. And I said, you're welcome.
Man, that's so
And here's
good.
my link.
Here's the link.
There you go. There you go. There
A
you
lot of
go.
times, again, we're in our own way thinking that we're going to hurt somebody's feelings by asking for the check, asking for the fee, the finder's fee, or whatever the case may be. When really that's what they want, because they don't know how to ask or what to ask. And if you're gonna keep giving me the information again 2, 3, 4 times, hey, Tanya's giving me all this information. Wait a minute. If you want to not be at the 35,000 foot level and you want to go to 201, 301, 401 level, now I'm using my
Where
IT
Jim
terms now.
sits.
See, okay, let me.
Sit in the good seats where Jim sits.
Cut
Right,
side. Cut
right.
side.
That's it.
Courtside.
Well, he on the floor. See, he probably in the back in the locker room with the players.
It's
He in the
true.
play.
But
Working
Wow.
on it.
I
Working on it.
appreciate that, Tanya, because I think that's probably more honest than most creative. I think a lot of us have the
Mm,
same issue. Okay, especially me. My background, as I was in the Navy and I was a corpsman, so we work with our heart. Okay, we don't
Mhm.
think about ourselves first. So all of our
Yeah.
training is not about you;
I
it's
love
always
that.
about somebody else. So
Mm-hmm.
now translating that towards business has been a little bit slowly progressing. And as a creative, again, everybody I meet in this space, creators, they have a very big heart. Matter of fact, you need a big heart to do what we do.
Yeah.
Okay. But sometimes we tend to forget, like, okay, you're still running a business. Okay,
Yeah.
you're still running a business, and and you have to see that aspect. And I appreciate that. Again, that was a master class.
Yeah, look, she gonna send you a
You have
bill.
to
She gonna send you an
train.
invoice.
But,
I'm
well,
not gonna send you a bill for that, but you have to train
yeah.
people. Look, I tell my daughters, train people how to treat you.
Hmm.
Whatever they can get away with, that's what they get away with. So you have to master your own domain. You have to set the boundaries and help them to understand with love and compassion. Like you said, you can still do it with that, but that helps them to also build better businesses.
Mm.
That helps
Yeah.
them to grow. When they see you model good, strong behavior as a leader, then they're going to model that behavior too because they saw you, Johnny, do that. So now is a good time for you to just model that behavior.
Y'all watching? Y'all heard that?
I'm just
Well, and I
saying.
think,
Listen, oh, we heard it.
yeah, Johnny, I think too. I mean, I've just met you, but I would tell
Mm,
you, my impression of James and Tanya from the time I met them is, and I know them the same way, is we've always wanted to help others succeed.
of
And
course.
I think that struggle of going from helping without necessarily getting something and not expecting something in return. I think,
Mhm.
and then realizing, like, you know what, the stuff we're providing is valuable and we deserve to be rewarded for the effort we make. And it's just deciding where to, like the point Tanya made, the point you're starting to see is like, okay, I can give away all this stuff, but as Dr. Hicks like to say, it's not going to pay the bills. And so it's got to be that conscious decision to say, all right, you know what? I'm at this point where I'll still give away some of these things, right? Here's where you go find it. But, if you want to pick my brain, you're going to pay me. It's,
Hmm.
it's that simple because if I let people pick my brain all the time, I'm not getting any of it. And they may not even take action, but I just gave them valuable information. And I think what Tanya said earlier about people with video, right? Well, it's like, look, if you're not ready to go on video, I'm not going to sit there and waste my time convincing you because I got somebody that's going to learn. I can help them with video. They're going to call me. They're going to get on the calendar. They're going to be willing to pay for it.
Mm,
And I think that's what we have to focus on.
that's good
True.
stuff. That's good stuff. Jen Hardy saying, "Great to meet some new people tonight and hear some perspectives." Where you going? Okay, Lord have
Jen's
mercy. Where's she
amazing.
going?
She's
Oh,
got a super
Yep.
duper YouTube channel. She's
love it.
so awesome.
Listen,
Yep.
we got winners all over the place tonight.
We
I'm
do.
just here, Wizard of Oz, pushing buttons behind the scene. Let me do this. So let me use another plane analogy. Let's bring the plane
Mhm.
in real quick because I want to be cognizant of folks' time. Um, back to kind of the core topic matter and say from a call to action for the audience. Because what we've kind of talked about thus far is, yeah, let's leverage AI. Let's have it as part of the tool, one of the tools in the toolkit. But we still gotta Johnny still gotta be Johnny. Tanya's always
That's it.
Tanya gonna be Tanya, right? I mean, we still have to bring our own individuality. We have to bring ourselves to whatever output that we put in, whatever prompt that we write, and whatever output comes out of that. We still have to be ourselves when we send that to our community, to whoever we're working with. But what's some action items that the audience who are just starting to put their toe in the water that they can leverage? Right? You guys got any recommendations for folks who don't? We've mentioned a lot of names who haven't used some of those names. Maybe go do some research, go try one of these out. And if you got one specifically, one or two specifically platforms that you recommend for newbies, intermediates, advanced, whatever the case may be, I'll start with you, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, I think, one of the biggest things, like I said, I'm a big fan of Magi because not only do you have multiple tools, but they also have a community to help you learn how to use these different tools and how they can help you, whether it's, the large language models or the video models, and people telling you how it's got done. Or I'd just say talk to Chris Stone.
You can't just push it off onto somebody else.
Punt.
Lord have mercy. You can't just do that, brother.
I'm just
I,
messing with you, Chris, because I know
I
you're
was like,
watching.
Colonel Fuse, you can do whatever you want to. I'm gonna stay in rank spare, but sir, you can't just do that. Just because you got the bars and okay.
Uh,
Um, Johnny, let me have you go next, and then I want to get
Okay.
to this audience question that was just put in the behind the scenes chat. Do you have any ideas Audience
Yes,
CTAs, call to actions, again, for
I,
jumping into AI?
I will say first, 90%, well, I would say even 95% of all those tools that we use, they have their own YouTube channel. Okay.
Hmm.
You start there because you will get the basic. After you get the basic, now start searching for some expert. Because while you're getting the basic, right? This is something I learned a while ago. If you look in the YouTube channel, just trying to get to that tools to see if they have a channel so you can learn the basic, you're going to find a lot of videos of different expert, okay, who's talking about that tools. Now you're gonna have to do like Tanya said. You have to know is the person is a real expert or not a real expert. So that's the research you have to do on your own. But discover some of those individuals and then follow them. And then if they have a program, if they have a community, try to join the community that they have so you can learn that tool, so you know exactly how to use it. Because it doesn't serve you any purpose if you don't know the basic. At least go to those channels, say, okay, am I going to use this? Do I really need it? Okay, now when you decide, okay, I can use this on my business, I can do something with it. Now it's time to say, okay, now I need an expert. Okay, and then start following those experts and
Mm.
start getting into their community so they can help you out. And I'm going to give you a clear example. This is how I get with Ecom. Okay, when I retired in 2018 and I decided, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make some video for my community. I've been out the community for a long time and my videos was terrible. Oh my God, they were terrible. And I was just looking for stuff. I was looking and I see Ecom. I went to Ecom and I see that bald head guy named Doc Rock. Find out he was in the army. I was like, oh man, this is my guy right here. And I just keep bench washing and I start discovering all of you guys. And now I'm not saying I'm the greatest, but compared to where I started, this is night and day. And I'm just continuing to get better and better. Again, and the first step, go to those different tools website, see if they got the basic, then pick an expert and stick with it.
Interesting. I like that, and it's almost like this was planned, even though it wasn't planned. So,
No.
question coming in from Marissa about, so once you have that tool, would you do that with people ask for your time to demo a new tool? Meaning, so would you charge folks for that 201, 301 level? So so Johnny, you sent someone off to an expert or to a YouTube site, and they've downloaded the tool, they've got the trial. Now they want to get, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, Marissa.
Yes.
So again, if I'm not articulating it correctly, and now they want to get more and more specific about how to use, I don't know, whatever
Yes,
tool is out
I
there
will
that we're using.
I will recommend them
So,
to
but then
get to the
is
next
that where you
level.
would say, okay, it's not going to be free now. We're not going to just
No,
have a
it's not. No, no, no,
conversation.
no, no,
This
no.
is where we kind of step it up and have a,
This is the portion I've been learning the past few months. And Tanya
yeah,
just hit it in my head and said,
yeah.
"Wake up, Johnny." Yes, you have to, because I've lived it. I have so many calls like, "Hey, can you teach me how to do X, Y, and Z?" Yeah, let's get in a quick Zoom call and do it. But now I realize, oh, okay, that the phone call when they started to be 20, 30, you're like, wait a minute now. I can't possibly do this for that
Yeah.
long because I'm neglecting my business. So yes, if you want to get to the next level, you're gonna have to invest, because everything that you want for yourself, you have to invest in it. Because education, no matter what anybody tell you, education is an investment. It's up to you how much you're willing to invest. It's what you're gonna get out of it.
That's right.
That's my opinion.
Man, hey, shout out to isolated audio and video, because in about 2 hours, what you just said is going to be all over the internet. That's going to be shout out to Ecamm, because that isolated audio and video, we about to make you a star.
Oh my goodness.
Marissa
So
says, clarifying, I'm sorry, she said, clarifying, a new tool is on the market and they want to get feedback on it and expert opinion to demo it for us. Would you charge for your time? Tanya.
I can speak to that because I do it
Yeah.
all the time,
I was going to
right?
say that perfect timing.
Yeah, I do it all the time. So this is my answer, but it may be different depending on who you are, right? And what your niche is. For me, I'm known for sharing tools. I did something called App Therapy Club. I used to do a click of the week way back when. So I love, as I mentioned earlier in the show, to be able to take something complex and to break it down into simpler terms for people. But the difference between the charge versus not charge is if I have discovered that there's a new tool and I'm introducing by way of a live stream that is open to the public, that's typically going to be free. If there are very specific use cases that can be customized for personal effectiveness and a strategy put around that tool for use by an individual person in a call one-on-one, that's a fee. There's a difference between free and fee. So you got to think about, I don't know what works for you, Marissa, but you got to think about what your calling is and who your people are and how you want to structure that. We all have opportunities to create different levels of access to ourselves.
Yes.
And so that's the way that I've structured it for myself. And my answer to the question that you asked a little bit ago, Hicks, is the 3 things that I would ask that people who are brand new to things do is first to understand prompt engineering, just at the basic level.
Yeah, truth.
Right? And I had this conversation earlier today when somebody was saying, well, every time I put a question into ChatGPT or one of those bots, it always gives me the wrong answer. And so I had to come back and say, look, the output is as good as your input.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you are doing with AI, a large part of it is going to be understanding the structure and the framework of the prompt that you're putting into it so that you get the answer that you need and want. That's number 1. Number 2 is try different platforms. ChatGPT is great for some. Gemini is great for people. Claude is great for others. You need to figure out which one is really going to suit your personality and style. I'm all about making sure that people are comfortable and that a lot of decisions are personality driven. So figure out by testing these out. You don't have to pay for a year. Do a month.
Say that one more time, right there.
I'm just saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, stop paying for a whole year of stuff. I know that they make it seem like it's lucrative, but give it a month or 2 first and then make a decision on the one that you know is
Yes.
going to be your tool, which leads me into the third and final advice that I would give on that. And it's do an inventory of the digital apps and things you're already paying for. Because a lot of that
now you're getting
stuff,
into people's business now. Now you're getting into
I'm
my
just
business.
saying, I'm not trying to get into your pockets.
Wow.
But I'm saying we be out here paying and going and buying the new shiny stuff. And we already had 5 other things that do that now because everybody's upgrading and adding AI components to their stuff. So take an inventory, please. For goodness sake.
Yeah, I thought it was. We were only supposed to be intervening Johnny, not the rest of us.
I know. I'm sorry.
But you know what? I'm laughing. I'm laughing. I do recycle some of my subscriptions. I recycle some of my. If I have a subscription I haven't used for a long time, and there's a new tools, I say, okay, I can take that money from this one and bring it to the new one to see how this one works. Because why keep both? And
you
if it doesn't
Peter
work, then I
and
go
Paul
back.
is what you doing. You trying to justify Peter and Paul. And
it's too many.
Yeah,
it's just too many.
You getting all in my business. See, I'm already getting hot. I told you. But
listen, okay. Matter of fact, while you saying that,
I'm trying to change the subject.
Last week, hold on. Last week, I think it was last week. You posted about AppSumo.
Did I? Oh Lord!
Oh man, you saved me. You saved me. I've been looking at Capture. I'm like, man, this thing's so expensive.
Yeah.
And I saw a post from you about AppSumo, and I went over there. I'm like, oh, it's time to turn off somebody. Turn on somebody else.
Why are you looking at me?
you know why I'm looking at you. I ain't saying nothing else.
Just be careful. Be aware.
Did I get you in trouble?
See. All right, I'm gonna say this on that right there. Just a number of us, we are bleeding edge, and we are bleeding edge and leading edge because it's part of our job, part of our role as technology evangelists, subject matter experts, trusted advisors, whatever, to know all these different tools. We didn't been in front of a couple of real cool tools that had LTDs, lifetime deals, that started off hot, and we're going to be the next best thing since Zoom, the next best thing since whatever. They so early stage, so early on, didn't get enough funding, and just they've fallen apart. So when you start seeing, we kind of know what to look for. Some of us, right? When tools have been out for a minute and they come back to AppSumo,
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. So let's check some of the financials. Let's check, make sure y'all
Mhm.
okay, because
Mhm.
this may be more of a yellow light instead of a green light. So
Mm.
fingers and toes crossed. The cap show was dope. Because yeah, listen, I remember I think it was like
It's worth
$100 a month or
trying, though.
something. Right?
It's worth trying.
She was charging some cash for it. And
It
you know,
was.
she was just on the Ecamm
It was 99
seminar.
bucks.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
$99 a month, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it
I was
was.
like, child, listen, it's dope, but I ain't paying no $99 for it.
Yeah.
It's again, just hopefully that money is long
But it,
term as opposed to short
listen,
term. Okay, and then we'll
listen,
leave that
think
alone.
about you did good. You did good because
Okay,
it's one time. It wasn't too bad. It's worth trying.
Mhm.
okay. You see,
You know.
you
Okay.
must got that. You got that kind of money. I
Yeah.
ain't mad at you, brother. I ain't
Look,
mad at you.
just make sure that you know you read the fine print. Make sure you read the ratings and the rankings and the real comments from real people.
Yes.
Oh,
And also make sure you keep track of, and this is what I teach my clients to do, to keep a spreadsheet. Like, when is the due date for the refund period?
Yeah.
Because by that time, you probably will have some signs that will tell you whether or not you need to get refunds. And I'm not specifically talking about
yeah,
that
no.
app but I'm saying in general, we need to be, again, the word responsible with
Yeah.
our money and with where we're spending and investing it.
That's true. That's true. All right. Last thing again, and I want to bring this in. I'm gonna bring this in as more of some flowers to everyone that's on here. So the conversations that we've been having, folks, appreciate all the comments. I see a lot, again, all these winners that is logging on right here. So we appreciate the folks that are joining in from all the channels. But most of the conversation that we've had has been, again, maybe that 35,000 foot level. But if you want to get deeper, if you want to have that conversation about let me see, I saw voice notes AI work for you? Does Scribe work for you? Do all these tools and do these tips? Does this match your network? Does this match your community? Does this match your use case and where you're going? That is where those premium services are coming in, not just from my community, from the digital collective, but also from what Jim is doing, from what Tanya is definitely doing, and what Johnny's doing. So everyone's communities will be linked in the description. So please, if you aren't following them, if you aren't part of their either Substack communities or their off-platform community, because we don't put all the eggs in the YouTube basket. That's a show for another day. But
Mhm.
we definitely are off platform as well. So I say that because again, we can have those further and deeper conversations, and we want to. That's what this forum is all about. Let's bring you this information, make it of value. See all these comments that are coming in, and then one-on-one, or in a cohort, or in whatever the case may be, we can get much more deeper and in depth with you guys. Did that make sense? Lord have mercy. I'm just.
Yeah, it made
Ever
sense.
since you got into my
It did.
business about my subscriptions, I
It
don't know what I'm
did.
talking
It
about.
made sense. You're
Okay.
okay. It's
Good
going to be
Lord.
all
He's
right.
gonna have some tequila after this.
I'm gonna have to take a little nap before my next show, because I got a show in a little bit. I'm gonna have to take a little nap before I go into it.
Yeah, you're going to be all right.
Tech Troublemaker says I've been burned on AppSumo, great products dying on the vine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
jinx. Hey
boy.
Summit. Listen, Hey Summit. Okay, I'm not
Don't
gonna
be,
get in that either.
just don't.
I got them in the
Stop.
definitely looking forward to it. Don't put all the eggs in the YouTube basket. Greg, when you on, let's talk about that. I see what you're
Okay,
doing. I was
Greg.
looking at your streams. Greg is, like I said, one of the new
Greg.
co-hosts that has joined. So we gonna talk about that right there. Make perfect sense. Thank you, Sean. Folks, we did it.
Yep.
We back in the building. I'm very analytical and anal. I see a couple of things just from a production perspective that I got to tighten some screws up, but no one else probably saw it. So I'm gonna pick it myself for that. Tanya probably saw it, so she's probably gonna say something offline.
I'm saying nothing.
Okay, but I see a couple of things. There was a couple of scenes I wanted to bring up that I couldn't bring up, but we gonna get it right.
It was beautiful. Beautiful. You
I'm
did a
gonna go
great
from
job.
left to right. Tell folks where they can find it, because we're gonna do this again next time. Mr. Fuse.
All right. Yeah. Go to jimfuse.substack.com. That's where I'm heading. That's where, there's so many ways to communicate. I know Tanya can see that as well. So that you can find me. The other stuff, you can go there, but that's the best place to engage with me now.
Look at that. live over there on the Jim Fuse page on Substack right now. I told you, bro. We trying to break the internet tonight, folks. We trying to break the internet. Johnny, what's up, man? Tell him.
You can find me ouvribarrière.com. That if you speak Creole, most of my contents are in Creole for that community, and I know a lot of them is watching us right now too. So you can find me there. You can also find me on Circle, which is Johnny E Tribe. That's where I have my community set at, and I'm listening to the word Substack. I might have to circle back to ask some questions for Substacks, but my community is on Circle. It's E Tribe.
You're a Circle man. Okay, that's dope. I ain't mad at that either, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Tanya Smith.
I am going to give you a link to Substack, but it's going to be hub.streamlikeaboss.tv. I have a custom domain because if I ever need to pick up my tools and go somewhere else, I can still find you and you can find me. So hub.streamlikeaboss.tv, and it leads to my Substack page, which is super exciting. In fact, I'm heading over there in just a few minutes to do another live, my Thursday live. Yes, that's me right there.
Did y'all catch what she just said, though? She's throwing gems out there about redirecting domains just in case Facebook
Platform
turns off
proof.
the ability to live stream. Again, she's
Hey.
throwing them out there.
We over here renting renting
Right.
apartments. She got a house. I'm just
I gotta buy. I'm a buyer.
I'm over here like a proud uncle boy, just hearing y'all say these things.
Yeah.
I need to put them on more t-shirts. I know I got the technologist on right now, but I need to put that on some more t-shirts. Listen, we did it, y'all. Appreciate you for everything. Appreciate the community. What you trying to say about Hey Summit? No, see, we're not going to get into that right now. We'll talk about that later.
Don't you do that.
I own Hey Summit too, so no,
Me
thumbs
too.
up to them. So we're not going to do that. She's the stream queen. Yes, she is. We will be live every week, God willing, here on the Technologist Summit or Technologist Forum. Lord have mercy, I'm losing my mind. We have different co-hosts. Everyone, again, is an equal partner in this, and we are trying to bring value to everyone that attends and offering opportunities to get more in-depth with each of the co-hosts as they, as you see, have their communities and they have their expertise. If y'all found value out of this, let me know. If you did not find value out of this, still let me know, right? So we can continue to improve and continue to be better. See y'all next time. Appreciate you again for all your support. We out.